Chi Brown for Considered Culture. Nick Cannon proves that black people can in fact be racist. In an interview Nick Cannon had with Professor Griff from Public Enemy fame, Cannon went on a tirade about how white people were savages and how they were inferior to blacks due to a lack of melanin.
Melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul that we call it. We call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us.
Right.
So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less. And where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight. Okay.
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains, they're in these rough torrential environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages.
Apparently, melanin gives black people superpowers, or so I keep hearing from the folks who believe in that kind of pseudoscientific nonsense. These strange ideas are known to folks who have had to listen to one of those street corner black intellectual types whose bookshelves are filled with dozens of the $5 books that they got from self-published authors with pamphlet-style books that they sell along the side with incense, oils, chew sticks, and black soap on 125th Street in Harlem. Those are the books I'm talking about. This one here I got as a gift when I was in my 20s. Now, I easily debunked the Willie Lynch letter back then on an old YouTube channel I had that was called the For Change Movement. You might remember the Willie Lynch letter hoax. It was supposedly a letter written by a slave master that was passed on to new slaveholders to teach them how to keep their slaves in line. It was proved to have been written in modern times, and it didn't much make sense. But an entire 30-page book was written and sold, and it discusses the methods described in the letter. Half of this book is the actual letter itself. This seems to be the kind of book that Nick Cannon prefers as he sits there quoting Francis Cress Welsing and speaking about the melanin theory or black superiority. If you watch my Black People Can't Be Racist video the other day, it was about how some blacks have inferiority complexes and therefore, by definition, cannot be racist because they don't actually feel that their race is superior. Well, this is not that. What Nick Cannon said was definitely racist. It's textbook racism, matter of fact. He actually even mentions whites being inferior. By the very definition of the word racism, that's racist.
That's racist!
No two ways about it. That all being said, he wasn't fired for that. Everything racist that he said was okay, or so it seems. Viacom fired him for something else that he said. It was the anti-Semitic things that were said that got him tossed off his own Wild 'N Out show. Being anti-Semitic, while just as bad, is not the same thing as racism. So I'm wondering if he just would have left out the anti-Semitism if he would have still been fired. I mean, a lot of blacks in the entertainment field say racist or at least bigoted things frequently, with not so much as a slap on the wrist. Perhaps that's why so many blacks in entertainment came to Cannon's defense. I mean, when you're used to being able to get away with talking crazy, you see nothing wrong when it's done and get upset to see someone punished for something you've seen done multiple times before. And perhaps blacks want to be able to continue to be able to say racist things without any kind of repercussions. I mean, other networks are going to keep Cannon on the payroll, and P. Diddy offered Cannon a job on his network Revolt TV. Then Charlemagne the God claimed that whites never get fired for racism.
I can't wait until the day black people are able to fire people for saying things about us that we deem racist. We can barely get cops fired for actually killing us. They fired Nick for referencing a theory written by a psychologist.
First he mentioned police, but didn't say which officer had ever been shown to have been found guilty of racism. The answer to that is none of them. But contrary to what Charlemagne is saying, other whites have been fired for saying racist things. People like the Dance Moms reality TV star Abby Lee Miller, Adam Rappaport from the magazine Bon Appetit, and who could ever forget Roseanne Barr with the Valerie Jarrett Planet of the Apes comment. And they aren't the only ones. So I'm not sure what planet Charlemagne lives on, but he hasn't been paying attention. And just how many blacks have been fired for bigotry? The only one I can recall is the conservative TV star Isaiah Washington, who went on a rant about gays. So it wasn't even about race. And the firing of Nick Cannon wasn't about race either. It was about his anti-Semitic remarks. The truth of the matter is that this simply proves that blacks can in fact be racist, and that nobody really cares if blacks are racist because blacks are held to much lower standards than other groups. Leftists don't expect that blacks are capable enough to be held to the same standards that whites are held to. It's another instance of showing how there's still a large population of Americans on the left who engage in the soft bigotry of low expectations, and apparently some blacks enjoy having lowered standards due to an inferiority complex. They simply don't want to have to live up to the same standards that whites are made to live up to. Anyway, it's late. That's my time. I'm She Brown for Considered Culture. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out.
No more Yowza Bowser.